Have you ever dreamed of selling it all and cruising into the sunset? Well, that's exactly what we did. It's no fun going it alone though, so why don't you join us for the ride? So, our original plan for traveling to the Bahamas was to stage in either Stewart or West Palm Beach, Florida, and then head over to Grand Bahama Island, checking in on West End. However, if you recall from the last video, we went to the rendezvous, the PDQ rendezvous in Stewart, and met a whole bunch of PDQ owners that were also intending on going to the Bahamas, so we decided to all group up and go together, leaving from a Miami area. And that would be the green route on this map. The wind had picked up in Palm Beach and we were looking forward to getting out of there. As luck would have it, our good friends on Heron and Traveler were just passing by and we joined the flotilla south. By the way, Heron is captained by Dick and Carol. Carol, obviously from Camp Carol, and Dick, my boat daddy. But before leaving Palm Beach, Laura and I want to tell you about this lovely centenarian that we happened upon on the sidewalk as we were walking to the supermarket. But let her tell you her story.
Introduce you to Marie Catherine Clark Burke, born in 1922. My mother, Marie, was born at home, and she recounted that from the stories that when she was born, she was very premature to Thomas and Agnes Clark. She was born at home, premature, weighing under 3 pounds. So they incubated her with the heat from the oven in their home.
Oh my God.
And my mother was really not considered to be viable, but she did. She survived. She survived quite a lot then. She went on and she actually survived the loss of a fiance who went down in a fighter plane in World War II.
Oh wow.
My father served in World War II as a medic in the Aleutians, and he had a difficult time as well, quite a difficult recovery. But came back much thinner, but ready to marry my mother. And they met. She
Smile on her face.
She resembled Ingrid Bergman, and that was really a very sought-after look in her day. And she said that so many of the servicemen, they'd always ask her out on dates and so forth. And when she would mention her goal after the war, naturally they'd say, "What are your plans after the war?" She'd say, "I'd like to get started with a family." And they'd say, "Wow, how many children?" She'd say, "A dozen." And usually they would back up and wow. However, when she shared that with my father, he said, "When do we get married?"
Ah,
Get started. And they were
awesome.
married a month later. And they went on to welcome 9 of us, and I'm her 9th child.
wow, the
And
baby.
The baby, a 17-year span, and her groom, my father, John Burke, he worked for the Chicago Tribune. Thankfully, prior to the war, he had begun his internship as a photo engraver in the graphic arts department of the Tribune. He worked for 45 years there.
Wow.
And my mother stayed at home with all of us. She actually welcomed me at age 42. My father was 45.
Yep.
She's lived through quite a lot. She's actually defied the odds on numerous occasions.
Wow.
34 years ago, she suffered carbon monoxide poisoning while caring for her own father, who was in his 90s. And there had been an error in a contractor who put in heating system, and it was improperly installed, so all the carbon monoxide was backing up into her room. When she was hospitalized, they said they had never seen a survivor with such a high level of carbon monoxide in her blood.
Wow.
She survived, and here she is.
Crazy.
Awesome.
Not only did she survive, she thrived.
Thrive.
She keeps on just breathing joy and new life into everyone.
So.
The ride to Lauderdale was full of magnificent homes, and this one had a beautiful cantilevered second floor pool on the right side. And in Pompano and Lauderdale, there certainly wasn't a shortage of mega yachts. We passed through Port Everglades, which is full of container ships and cruise ships, some pretty big ones, and definitely had to stay out of their way as they were cruising down the channel. One One of Celebrity's newest ships, the Apex, was there, and we found it was kind of interesting. Instead of balconies, they have these kind of windows that slide up and down that I guess extend the rooms and give you kind of that balcony feel. We decided to anchor that day in North Miami in a nice little sheltered anchorage. As you can see, the high rises there, and protected us from the strong east winds that were blowing. Traveler invited us to raft up with them, which basically means they set their anchor and we just come up beside them, lay out some fenders, and we tie up together, which makes it great for hanging out and socializing. See how this comes out. What do we think? Not too shabby. Save me $35. Nice job. At least Lori could have tried it out on pancake first. When we awoke the next morning, we noticed that Headway and Onward had also joined us at the anchorage and decided to raft up overnight as well. So we headed off on a beautiful day towards Miami. In Miami's impressive skyline, we had some nice calm winds and probably 83 degrees. The port of Miami was pretty busy, and I think I counted no less than 8 cruise ships in port. By early afternoon, we got to our final destination, which was in Biscayne Bay of the Miami area, a little place called No Name Harbor, a very popular destination and place for staging to go off to Bimini in the Bahamas. No Name is a unique place with very clear water, and it's adjacent to a state park where there's a restaurant, a snack bar, another bar, so it really is a popular area. You can also dinghy to a dock, and it's about a 1.5 mile walk to an Ace Hardware or supermarket. Needless to say, we were all pretty excited to get here. We rafted up with Traveler again, and Traveler decided to throw a pizza party that night with their Uni pizza oven. In total, there were 7 of us PDQs in the harbor. Sally was the chef, and she made a number of different pizzas, and John was the pizza cooker.
Wait for pulled pork, baby.
Pleasant.
Light.
Fire in the hole.
Whoa, God, nugget. Ooh, I smell it.
Awesome.
I never in a million years thought that we'd be cooking pizza in pizza ovens on a boat. Never ceases to amaze me.
So this here is our water maker or desalinator. It takes salt water, converts it into fresh water for drinking, showering, etc. And I gotta make sure it works before we get to the Bahamas. First thing I have to do is put a filter in this lower unit right there and start it up and see what we get. It was what they call pickled or preserved for a long time when you're not using it, so it doesn't get rancid. And now we gotta see if this thing actually works. It better work. This is what the filter looks like that I have to put in. And I guess it's just kind of the pre-filter that gets the major junk, and you have to change it periodically. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. There we go. Let's take this off and get that filter in there. So this is a handy dandy meter that I bought from Amazon for, I don't know, probably less than $20. And it measures TDS, or total dissolved solids in liquid, so you can get an idea. When you make water using the water maker, you want it to be under 500, so let's see what it's going to be. Got to turn it on first. Looks like 338, 340. That's drinkable. Excellent. So our water maker is working. Terrific. And we'll probably make, right now it's making about 5 gallons an hour. It runs off a battery. It takes a lot of load. Hopefully we can get up to like 9-10 gallons an hour. I gotta figure out how to do that.
So this harbor is full of a ton of life. The trees are absolutely full of iguanas. It's like Jurassic Park, and there are plenty of manatees swimming near the mangroves.
So we're here in No Name Harbor, Miami, Florida, on island time. If we look to our right here, we have Heron and Easy Riders. Behind them we have Harvest Moon. Over here we have Onward. And way behind us, behind the sailboat, we have Headway. So quite the group, 6 of us going over to the Bahamas together. Traveler was also here, but they left a day early. They left today. So hopefully they have a good cruise over. Beautiful sunrise this morning, 8 a.m. January 31st, as we head off to the Bahamas. Finally, the long-awaited Bahamas. Cannot wait. Pretty cool, huh?
Thank you for watching. In our next video, we'll teach Lori how to film and see if we actually do make it to the Bahamas.